Many games have experimented with the concept of inverting gravity or flipping the player upside down. It's been done in all different genres, from action games to adventure games and platformers, on all sorts of systems, the most recent being handheld touchscreen devices. So, for one of my classes at Full Sail Online that was focused on mechanics design, a small group of fellow students and myself wanted to test out a system like this for ourselves. First, we developed and scripted the rules that would let the player invert gravity, and we attached them to one of the Unreal Tournament's pickups that looks like boots, and so the player can pick up the boots and then flip gravity on command. Next, we designed the level that you're seeing now that includes a few different obstacles for the player to navigate through using the new mechanics of flipping gravity, just to test out some of the pros and cons of a system like this. The first of our two main obstacles is a simple stationary object that causes the player damage upon touching it. Essentially, navigating around these obstacles equates to jumping obstacles in your classic platformer. Our second main obstacle is a couple of rudimentary AI bots that simply patrol an area and then fire at the player upon sight. The player can eliminate these bots if he or she can manage to bump into them before being eliminated themselves. The gravity inversion system did offer some unique gameplay when paired with these mobile obstacles. For example, it was exciting to walk across the ceiling and then drop directly down on your opponent. Also, we had the opportunity to put obstacles across the ceiling, requiring the player to invert gravity at specific times to maneuver around them without being seen by the enemies. With a little more time, I'm sure we could have designed and developed other obstacles that would work well with this sort of system, but we also found one sort of quirky aspect of a system like this. If the player is allowed to invert gravity at any given time, then he or she can do so while in mid-air and essentially create a sort of hovering or flying effect by just flipping gravity back and forth. One way to fix this is to only allow the player to invert gravity after they've come in contact with either the floor or the ceiling. But this can also give the feel of restricting the player. I feel that this design decision would have to be based on the specific goals of the game that the system is going into, and also the obstacles would thus have to be designed around that decision. Overall, I think a system like this can be very enjoyable, especially when paired with the right obstacles, due to the fact that it allows the player to do something fantastical, something they couldn't do in real life. Not to mention it makes him or her change their perspective and think about the game space and how it can be navigated in a different way. So this concludes the presentation on the exploration of just one game mechanic. Thank you for watching.